My sister got my wife fired, but karma struck when her $2.5 million fraud scheme was exposed. I'll never forget the moment my world started unraveling, all because of my sister Alana. Family, they say, is supposed to be your backbone, your support system. But sometimes family can be the very storm that tears you apart. My wife Emma had worked tirelessly at her job for years. She was the epitome of grace and dedication, always going above and beyond. Her boss adored her, and her colleagues respected her. I'd never seen anyone so committed to excellence. That job wasn't just her livelihood. It was her pride, her passion, and her future. Alana, on the other hand, had always been complicated. Growing up, she craved the spotlight, the applause, and the constant validation. To her, life was a game, and she played it ruthlessly. Our parents spoiled her, while I was left to learn the harder lessons of life. I never thought she'd drag Emma into her web of selfishness, but I was wrong. It started innocently enough. Alana dropping by our home, making sly comments about Emma's success. "Your wife's really climbing the ladder, huh? Must be nice being married to a corporate queen," she said one evening, her smile sharp and cold. Emma, ever kind, laughed it off, but I could see the unease in her eyes. I should have seen the warning signs then. Months later, the bomb dropped. Emma came home, tears streaming down her face, her usually steady hands trembling. She held a crumpled envelope, a termination letter. "They fired me," she whispered, her voice cracking. "They accused me of leaking company secrets." I was stunned. Emma, leaking secrets? Impossible. But the evidence seemed damning. Emails sent from her account to a competitor, files mysteriously disappearing. She swore she hadn't done it, and I believed her. I knew her better than anyone. Someone had framed her, and deep down, I suspected who. Alana didn't even bother hiding her glee. She came over the next day, acting overly concerned but failing miserably to mask the smirk tugging at her lips. "Oh, Emma, that's terrible. I hope this doesn't ruin your reputation," she cooed, feigning sympathy. My blood boiled. I wanted to confront her, to demand answers, but without proof it would only cause more chaos. For weeks, Emma fell into a depression. She refused to leave the house, terrified of the judgment from her peers. Watching her crumble was like a knife to my chest. I spent every waking moment trying to clear her name, digging through her emails, tracking down colleagues, doing anything to prove her innocence. And then it happened. Karma has a funny way of working when you least expect it. One night, as I sat in my study, my phone buzzed. A news alert popped up. "Local woman arrested for $2.5 million fraud scheme." My heart stopped when I saw the picture. It was Alana. She had been running an elaborate scam for years, siphoning money from multiple companies through fake accounts and shell corporations. The audacity. But the real kicker? She had used Emma's name and credentials to launder a significant portion of the funds. That's why Emma had been fired. It wasn't just sabotage. It was part of Alana's grand scheme to save herself. The trial that followed was a whirlwind. Emma's name was dragged through the mud again, but this time the truth surfaced. Alana's fraud unraveled before the court, every thread meticulously exposed by investigators. Emails, transactions, fake IDs. It was all there, black and white. Emma was vindicated, her innocence clear for the world to see. But my sister's downfall wasn't just legal. The family disowned her. Her so-called friends abandoned her, and the media tore her apart. She went from the life of the party to a cautionary tale overnight. As for Emma and me, it took time to rebuild. Trust is fragile, and even though she was exonerated, the scars ran deep. She eventually found a new job, one that valued her brilliance and integrity. And as for Alana, well, she's serving a lengthy sentence, her once grand life reduced to cold concrete walls. Looking back, I've learned that karma doesn't always work on our timeline. But when it strikes hard. Alana thought she could destroy Emma to save herself, but in the end, her greed and deceit were her undoing. I've made peace with it, though. Family or not, some bridges are meant to burn. Like and follow for more content like this.